Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today. Hanging out in Newport Beach at the Newport Beach Pier outside the Dory. They're already sold out of all the fish this weekend. Everybody had the great idea to go out and get themselves fresh fish, and they just cleaned them out. But with this beautiful day, you're getting a lot of people out here exercising and walking around and just enjoying the perfect weather out here. And one thing we're going to cover today is you have to be leery of the banks and your mortgages and what the banks are telling you. So it's crazy right now. Please take a second. Please hit the like button on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We do videos about 6 days a week right now. And one thing that I want to also cover is September is Hunger Awareness Month, which is ridiculous that people have to be made aware of people not having enough to eat. So we're going to cover that a little later too. I got a great story from Thomas, who sent me a story out of North Carolina, and I'm just going to, protect the names on this, but I want you to think about this. He's got friends that bank at Wells Fargo, and we've made a lot of fun of Wells Fargo over the last couple years, with the problem with them setting up accounts, getting fined hundreds of millions of dollars, and just continuing to do complete shenanigans with customers. Well, I've got one that this could be the most disturbing thing ever, and you need to look at this if you have any loans with Wells Fargo. First things first, he's got a friend who had a mortgage at Wells Fargo, and we call them Hells Fargo here. And mortgage was for $275,000 back east. Not a big mortgage, not necessarily a small mortgage. I want to show you the birds waiting for their feeding from the dory, where they chop up the fish and send it out to the birds. They're no fools. But these people had a mortgage for $275,000. They decided to pay the mortgage off. Pay it off. Bravo. They should be celebrating this. Well, a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, and they start to call Wells Fargo and say, hey, when are we going to get, notification that the loan's been paid off and that the deed has been, it's in our name completely, and we don't have any mortgage on this house. Oh, we'll look into that for you. Well, a couple weeks go by, and they end up going into the Wells Fargo office, and they're saying, hey, listen, we're concerned about this because we haven't received our deed yet, that it's been paid off, and we want notification. Well, let's check the file. Well, you guys don't have a mortgage. You paid off the mortgage. You have zero balance with us. Okay, well, when are we going to get the deed? When's it going to be filed that we, paid this off? The person at Wells Fargo suggested that they get an attorney at that point because something was up in regards to their home and their mortgage. Now, this is incredibly disturbing because, think about this. Go get a lawyer because I can't tell you anymore about your house and about your loan. Now, what does that mean? One thing that we saw in 2008, the crash that caused everything, and the preceding years before that, was that they took these mortgages and bundled them together, labeled them CDOs, and sold them off to all these other institutions, whether they had good credit or bad credit. But what is Wells Fargo doing? And the question that was asked is, are they putting these mortgages together? Are they leveraging them? Are they doing something with houses right now? Well, my suggestion was immediately go to the county recorder's office and see what the status is on the house. Now, that's one thing that I have done, and it's kind of weird because, when you go and you file, your fictitious business name, or you go to the county in Orange County and here in Southern California, it's very easy to do because this building's really good. You walk in, how can I help you? Oh, I want to look up the title of my house. Oh, let me show you how to do that. They literally walk you over to the computer and show you how to do it. It's very, very easy. And the cool thing with this is that I had a friend of mine who was going to go in business with this one guy and didn't because of this, where the guy told him I was a successful businessman. I don't owe any money on my house, or this, that. So I happened to check out that the house that the guy had $1 million mortgage plus $1,050,000 mortgage on his house, and let my friend know. And, if the guy lied about having a house paid off free and clear, what else did he lie about? So that was the beginning of that. But it's very easy to do. Tom's friends need to go to the county recorder and start there. They went out and hired a lawyer already. The lawyer wrote, a lawyer letter saying, hey, listen, if you don't put the deed in their name, that it's paid off in full within 10 days, we're going to sue you for the mortgage amount. We're going to sue you for attorney's fees, damages, your firstborn kid, and everything else that lawyers do. So again, the disturbing part about this is that what else is going on? What else is going on with Wells Fargo? Now, is this a Wells Fargo thing? Is it the four big banks? We've talked about this, ad nauseum, where you've got the four big banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, and Chase, are all in precarious situations. They can tell us how great they are. They can tell us how much money they have. They can tell us everything's great. But you know what? It is not right now, guys. It is an absolute problem right now. And this is a perfect example. Who else is having this problem with Wells Fargo? Again, do a financial audit on your life and look at your bills. They want us not to have paper statements. They want us to have electronic statements because the odds that an email is going to be opened is less likely than you opening mail. It's true. And I get people that are like, it conserves the planet. Every time I mention this, I get the hate mail, the ridiculous stuff. But find out the status of it. When was the last time you went down to the county recorder and checked the deed in your house? Well, I've never done that, Dan. Why would I do that? I feel good about the bank I deal with. You just got to check everything out. You got to check out your credit card statements. You got to check out to make sure the charges aren't being added. I had something this last week where some book club for $88 that I had never signed up for charged me, and I went and called the credit card company, and we've already taken it off because we, thought it was suspicious, and don't worry about it. You have to be on top of this stuff. Your home mortgage is the most important asset that 99% of us own right now, and you have to check that out. So these people, that's where the story's at right now. The story doesn't have a happy ending where the lawyer, put his hands around their neck and made them give them the deed. We don't know where it's at right now, guys. This is completely upside down, but I love stories like this, these banking stories where people are having issues getting money out of the bank. And, I get stories like this too, but I also get people that go, you don't understand. The world is set up to protect you. They're protecting these people by not taking large sums of money out of the bank. Guys, I had people write me this week, 2 people, in fact, that make $1,500 a month on their Social Security, and they don't know how they're going to get by and how they can save money. You gotta, again, if you put away anything, if you had basically a couple $100 a month, you would be 10 times better off than everybody else right now. So the idea with this is that you're going to see a shutdown in the banks. And, I had a great meeting with Bob, who runs a stock group, an investment group, and we had coffee yesterday, and we got to talking about everything. We talked about, he knows Bitcoin miners, he's got his stock picks, and Bob's one of these guys that, I'll get him on the show one day, but Bob's one of these guys that, Dan, I don't care where the stock market's going. If it's going up, going down, going sideways, people in my group make money. But we got to talk about things, and it's just precarious right now. And the average person is like watching the news saying, oh, yeah, this is all good. No, it's not good, guys. And be aware, be in charge of your finances. And if you have a spouse or a significant other, be on top of it. Ask questions about all this stuff and make sure that you guys are on the same page with everything, because trouble's coming. And these people, these poor people that have their mortgage screwed up like this. By the way, I'm at the end of the pier now. Everybody's fishing out there. They're blasting music, so I'm not going to go too close. But, nice, warm, beautiful day. A lot of people in the water already, early morning. That's beautiful. But, are you on top of this stuff? I am. Every time I think, okay, I got it all figured out. This is where we're going. This is what's going to happen. I don't. And, I should check that one thing. How many of you rent from somebody and you don't know if the landlord's making the mortgage payment. Because what can happen is if he doesn't make the mortgage payment, the bank can evict you. And I've seen this happen time and again. But we've been paying this guy. And if you saw the movie The Big Short, that's what happened to those people. Well, we rent this place. We're not the owners. You better contact your owner because he's not making the mortgage payment. That happens time and again. And again, I've seen people ask the landlords that question. Hey, are you making the payment? They get furious. Okay, they're not going to act like they're not. Of course we're making the payment. What do you think we are? So just beware of shenanigans. Beware of the guy that shows up for cash. Beware of certain things that are happening with stuff like this. But this mortgage debacle is a complete mess. Now, speaking of that, you've got mortgage companies that are going out of business right now because of the high lending rates and what this is doing to the mortgage industry. You're seeing Ameriserve Wholesale Mortgage, Suburban Mortgage, all these different mortgage companies that are laying off hundreds of people and closing their doors. But they're doing it in such a cheesy way that it's not like, hey, we're having trouble, we're going to seek bankruptcy help, and we're going to try to restructure this company. No, they literally locked the doors. They're people that showed up on September 1st to go to work, and there was a note in the door. And again, if you ever have that, send me those notes, because this is just getting to the point that it is nuts right now, guys. So, we're seeing stuff that we've never seen before. We're seeing the repos for cars just escalate out of control because people are not making these payments. And the majority of the people that are getting repoed right now are not the used cars, they're the resale cars. And that's the other thing, is that we talked about this. Unload that second car, guys. The one that you don't need, get rid of it, because the prices are going up, and we've never seen prices like this. Well, they're not going up anymore, guys. They're starting to turn, and you're going to be able to get a deal on cars. Now, these poor people that borrowed, they bought a car for $20,000 over market, and then financed it at 17, 18% because their credit was no good, and now the car's getting repoed. They're doomed. They get sued and not have a car. So, we're seeing more and more unscrupulous things done by lenders right now. We're seeing, shut-off control switches put on cars. Let me show you guys this. We're seeing things like that if you don't make your payment. A lot more to cover, guys. But, the other thing was a woman rented a car from Hertz, and they said that she drove 6,000 miles inside of a week in the car and charged her thousands of dollars more than they were supposed to. But of course that didn't happen. But they've got sensors in the cars, guys, that detect what you drive. And again, when you rent a car, get yourself unlimited mileage. No, I get unlimited mileage because I had a time where my car was being worked on. This is 25 years ago. And, well, how long is it going to take? 2, maybe 3 weeks. Okay, well, I'll go rent a car. And I got unlimited mileage. And I was a sales rep at the time, and I made sure that I was driving that car into the ground from 6 a.m. until midnight. Wow, you put 3,500 miles on this car in a month. Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, oh, wow, you're going to owe us a fortune. Nope, I got unlimited mileage. Look at line so-and-so. Oh, okay. Guys, it's your finances. And if you think that these banks are going to be in good shape right now, 60 days from now, and you think everything's good financially, you are kidding yourself right now, because we are seeing things like this that we have never seen before. And just instability. And it's like, like you're stupid. These people with the mortgage, with Wells Fargo, how about a bank manager telling you to get a lawyer? Get a lawyer at this point. Yeah, you have zero balance. Get a lawyer, okay? I can't tell you any more than that, but get a lawyer. So go out and get a lawyer, guys. But share your thoughts on all this stuff. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California. It's going to be so hot. It's just going to continue to be hot all weekend. And it's funny, we drove to the beach, and literally it's about 18, 20 degrees cooler here than it is at the house, and just a few miles inland. So you get to see that. But, the real estate's being taken up quickly. So let me know what you guys are thinking about all this stuff, your experiences. all these emails that you send me and the stories are very important, guys. They really are, because I get people, oh, you're making this up. Oh, this is doom and gloom. No, there's a lot of good news out there, guys. I'm telling you, get control of your finances. You can make money during this time. You can be successful during this time, but you've got to be in charge of your dough right now. And this is a perfect example of this right now. So let me know, guys. I appreciate everything that everybody sends me. And one thing that we've pushed quite a bit on this channel are discounts. Whether it be a coupon, whether it be savings. Dawn from back east always sends me travel discounts and different things that she's coming. I think it's a sign that these companies are in trouble, especially cruise companies, that she's getting tremendous deals where you can, go on a major cruise line for, under $60 a day is insane. David from Augusta, Kansas sends me a great story about McDonald's. Goes to McDonald's this week and they say, hey, had a paper note on the door. It says, as of September 3rd, we are no longer going to have the dollar drinks. And the drinks are going to be at market price. And it will still be cheaper than the competition. Well, I don't believe that. But the criminal act of fast food has been drinks. And, oh yeah, I want a large iced tea with that. Okay, that'll be $3.99, guys. And you're spending more and more money for this stuff. More and more that we've ever seen. So credit card debt right now, think about this. Credit card debt rose in the month of August to the highest level that it's been ever. And it basically went up $46 billion in the month of August. And also, think about this, it went up 17% over last year. So more and more people are doing what? They're using their credit cards to pay their bills and to get by. That's crazy, guys. It's sad and it's awful. And again, pay attention to your credit card bills, because this is going to get, it's going to get out of control for people. What is the average credit card interest rate right now? According to Bankrate, it's 17.98%. And again, there's good people out there that have good credit that are not paying that, but the average person is paying 29 and 30%. See how that works out? So that's what people need to look at. Now, the one thing I appreciate on this channel is we have everybody. We have people that are wanting to be successful, people that are retired, people that are very successful, people that from every aspect of life. Now, Bob, a corporate pilot. Now, Bob flies corporate executives around. Bob is clearly a successful guy, high credit score. He shared a lot of stuff with me. I'm not going to go into it 100%, but what I am going to share with you is he was traveling and going to a Marriott resort. And hey, listen, for incidentals, we need to swipe your card. And they swipe the card, and he's like, okay, fine. And of course, spends the night at the hotel, flies his clients back, and then, listen, this will drop off 2 days later. 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, to the tune of like $1,000 on this card that they charged him that's still there. And he's like, you know what, I'm not going to use this card if this is how it's going to be. So he called him, yeah, that should drop off any day now. Well, it's been 2 weeks now, and the charge is still there, and it's showing as an active charge. Now, Bob didn't buy anything at the hotel. Bob slept there and went home and flew a client home, and that was it. So what do you do with this stuff, guys? And again, if you're like Bob, you're watching the statement, you're looking at this stuff, but 99% of us are not doing that. And Bob would just sit there and get hit with a charge, get the statement and say, oh yeah, they charged you $1,000 at that Marriott for God knows what. How many people get little charges that happens to? Now, a friend of mine, we were talking this week about, I really got control of things, Dan. I really started looking at all my bills and all the corporate subscriptions, and she uses a service that reminds her of all this stuff, and she just gets rid of it when, if it's something that she hasn't used in 90 days. So you've got to look at this stuff. Take control of your finances right now, but everything's going up in price. People are definitely in trouble, and people are using the credit cards to just get by. And again, do not have this mentality of, oh, don't worry, honey, we'll make money tomorrow. Because from talking to, Bob, the financier, and he's got just a great background. We're talking about how people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year are broke. So it's very sad to see that, because a lot of us would, oh my gosh, if I could make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, I'd be loaded. I'd be rich. We'd have everything. Imagine being broke. Imagine making that kind of money to where you're upside down financially, that if you missed one paycheck, the house would start to fall apart. That's where these people are at. So take control of it. Look at everything. Look at saving money. Look at stocking up on food. Look at stocking up on water right now. This thing in Mississippi is tragic right now, where the infrastructure is so screwed up that they hadn't had drinking water for a week, and they don't know when they're going to have it. But again, it's not the average person that's affected. It's the poorest community that's affected. Speaking of that, we do a lot of work with Fran and Joseph Dreamhouse. And Joseph Dreamhouse is basically a food bank. And what they do is they prepare meals and give them to clients so they can eat. And she has hundreds of clients. But again, the USDA is supposed to help food banks with food and with getting certain supplies, cheese, meat, rice, beans, things like that. Milk? No, nothing like that for the poor. And again, we heard that story about Walmart, about how they gave away the watermelons this last week. The lifeguard training's starting. I thought I'd flip that around. That big group, these guys will swim out as a large group. But again, if you guys can give to Joseph Dreamhouse, if you give the money for basically a cup of coffee, the link will be below. It's going to be put to good use, but it's going to feed people right now that really need it. And again, imagine this. We have Hunger Awareness Month, guys. That is disgusting that we have to have a month for us to be reminded that people, don't have food. So take a look at that, and the link for Joseph Dreamhouse is below also. I am one of these people that looks at all the warnings around me and tries to decipher if they're serious or not. Now, here's one thing. Banks are warning each other of massive check fraud. And the problem with it is that if Johnny gets sent a check and he goes to Bank Y and cashes it, Bank X, let's say it's written from them, they're basically screwed if the check's fraudulent. And Johnny's gone because he cashed it, he's off into the sunset. And the bank, sometimes it takes months for them to figure out that these checks were fraudulent in the first place, and the original recipient who committed check fraud is gone. The Bank of Ottawa is talking about this and saying, they're in Canada, and talking about how bad this is, and how bad it is with also out of the country checks, and it takes months for them to get that. And speaking of banking, one thing that has been sent to me over a dozen times is the story about the Pope. The Pope has urged every clerical and religious facility to close their bank accounts and move them to the Vatican Bank by September 30th. No exceptions. Now, what does the Pope know about this? Does that concern you? It should, because what's going on that you have to get your money out of the bank? Dan's been talking about this for 2 years now. Why is the Pope bringing this up now, that you need to get your money out of the bank? Now, the Vatican Bank doesn't have branches, guys. It's not like, hey, listen, I bank with the Vatican Bank and here's my ATM card. There are no ATM cards. There's no branches. There's one place that you can do business. They have about 15,000 customers, and supposedly it's growing daily because of this story. And with that, you've got about $5.6 billion under management by the Vatican Bank. Okay? That's concerning to me. The other concerning thing to me right now is Xcel Energy out of Colorado. One thing I've told you guys is do not get those smart meters. Oh, Dan, the smart meter keeps my temperature in my house at the exact temperature. I never need to worry about it. I don't need to touch it. I just set it and go away. You're a fool, because 22,000 people in Colorado went out and had their energy shut off to where they had, temperatures of 100 degrees and couldn't set the thermostat. Now, people sit there and go, 100 degrees is no big deal, but that's a problem, guys, with them controlling your energy. If you look at Texas, in 2021, they did this, and people froze to death during this time. So do not let them do this. I'm telling you this, just don't let them do this, okay? So share your thoughts on this stuff. You know, they're the energy companies, in Dan's opinion, they're thieves. And oh, if you don't have our smart meter, it's going to cost you $30 more a month. Well, there'll be lawsuits over stuff like this, guys, because as soon as you start tampering with the fact that they are shutting energy off to people, and again, not everybody's physically fit. I know people with cancer. I know people that have to have the house at this temperature all the time, regardless of how nice it is outside. It's got to be cool some days. It's got to be hot some days. And you're going to mess with her? No, it's not right. It's not fair. And again, what about your choice? Hey, I don't care if my electric bill's $1,000. Okay, let them cool the house. That's what's wrong. But again, these rolling blackouts, the problem that we're having here in California is that the infrastructure for power is so weak and has not been upgraded in years. I used to get upset about this because I like baseball and I go to the see the Angels play a lot. And a few years ago, about 10, 15 years ago, the Southern California Edison, the power company, sponsored the team, and you had to have it shoved down your throat every day about energy savings and all this stuff, while they wasted money with their box seats and their suites catered with food that I got invited to once, and I refused to go because I thought they were a bunch of jerks. So anyways, there's more to come, okay? Let me know what you're thinking about all this stuff. I'm gonna finish this video with these last couple stories. And first, I was in Costco yesterday and they had all the Christmas stuff out. They had a tree for $1,500, a lighted fake tree for $1,500. Wow, okay? But iAllegedly wants to be the first to wish you guys a Merry Christmas right now. So Merry Christmas from Dan and iAllegedly. And the next thing is, this is a warning that is the earliest that this has ever come out, and it's turkey prices. Number one, for Thanksgiving of 2022, we're going to see a major increase in the price of Thanksgiving. And you're going to see a major turkey shortage this year, and restaurants are already cutting back on that. Now, I have people that write me from the Midwest, and there's turkey-themed restaurants that, you know, they've got the turkey tetrazzini and all this other stuff that they have, and sell all these turkey dishes, full-blown turkey dinners year-round, and they're cutting these back because they can't get access to the turkeys, and the price is going to go sky high. So when it comes to Thanksgiving, we're going to see the price absolutely catapult when it comes to turkeys. So I'm going to sit on the bench and end the video. Thank you guys one and all for being here. Again, all the emails, I do everything I can to read everything. I do everything I can to comment on everything that you guys send me, and I appreciate you one and all. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit us up and be part of the email list, because they're going out, you know, about every 7 to 10 days or so. So that's happening now. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.